How serious are Republicans taking these impeachment proceedings? Well, as the House impeachment managers presented their argument back on Wednesday, you had Senator Rand Paul doodling. Senator Josh Hawley put his feet up while reading briefs in the gallery. Senator Mike Braun appeared to struggle to stay awake. Senator Rick Scott appeared to study a map of Southeast Asia. That's the most fascinating one. There's some I really want to dig into that and find out what was going on. Is he just a lifelong learner? Is he plotting a trip? But anyway, Paul and Senator Limas refused to wear face masks because why not? They are Republicans. Several Republican senators were late to the proceedings or left for extended periods of time or chatted with each other during the arguments. Now, of course, in normal US criminal proceedings, jurors may be removed by the judge if they fall asleep, don't pay attention, or are late or absent, or actually participated in the crime that is being investigated. So that's fun, Brett. The last few days where we've been seeing more and more of this video footage, including a lot of new stuff, finding out more about how bad it could have been and how bad it actually was. They have been pretty much checked out from the very beginning. And that isn't even actually the worst thing they've been doing. We'll turn to that in a moment. But what do you think about the Republican jurors in this trial?
Many of them have already made up their mind. There is this weird, sad trap that we all seem to be that I find myself falling into. I'm not gonna speak for others, where I fixate on the one senator who has changed his mind, one of the senators from Louisiana, who voted after hearing the arguments to go ahead with agreeing that the impeachment itself is constitutional. And he's talking about how he saw some very compelling evidence from the first half, which is the prosecution and the impeachment managers. Now, just to keep everyone updated on what's happening in that, in the impeachment case, now they're just going through tweets and showing that when the impeachment managers edited together videos showing what happened that day, that they edited out some things. And so what's happening now is this very delightful experience where the defense thinks they've got this gotcha moment. So they play Trump's clips in their entirety. But what ends up happening is you realize that even in their entirety, Trump is either both the most incompetent president and the dumbest president ever to hold the office. And he's still inciting violence and he's still essentially doing those things that he was accused of doing. It's just that they're relying on these jurors who aren't paying that much attention to now feel like they have an out to say, see, they edited out the part when he said that. And that's it. Because people like to see the side by side where it's here's where it cuts out.
Yeah, totally. And as they continue on till today, and we're gonna talk a bit about what they will be doing. We know that it's going on right now. They've gotten a little bit of advice about some of the little tricky things they might be able to do. And that advice is coming again from those who are supposed to be deciding the merit of the charges and all of that, and instead are doing what's gonna be described here, a little clip from Newsmax with Jason Miller representing Trump's team.
David Schoen, what was this all about? 3 GOP senators, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, went back into the cloakroom and apparently chit-chatted with the president's 2 attorneys yesterday. Was that a pep talk or what was that all about?
A little bit of all of the above. I would say most of the points that the senators were raising, we have in our presentations and we have in our arguments. So that was good reinforcement for us that we're thinking about this in the same direction. But I'll tell you, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Mike Lee, these are some smart guys with some very good ideas. And I think President Trump is gonna get the absolute best defense today. And it was a real honor to have those senators come in and give us some additional ideas. So we're appreciative for that.
I'm not a lawyer or anything, but that seems crazy. That just seems crazy that they went and they listened to the prosecution. They're like, interesting. Yeah, they really did try to sway us. Now I'm gonna take that and give it to the defense. And they can do that, Brett, I guess, because there's no consequences for virtually anything.
Well, the whole idea behind having a jury is, and the thing that the Republicans are supposed to lie about and say is that they're impartial. That's what the senator from Louisiana is saying. He's like, I'm an impartial juror. He's citing Proverbs now, saying I'm gonna wait until this actually is argued by the defense, but it's very persuasive so far. But they're supposed to lie. People like Ted Cruz are supposed to have enough internal shame to say, I'm just gonna keep an open mind through this. They're not supposed to then go and expose themselves as a wildly partial jury. These jurors who should not even be weighing in on this case in the first place because they did the exact same thing that Trump is being accused of. So if Trump is convicted, they're convicted. If it was a normal jury selection, those people,
or at least it should set a precedent in theory that there should be some consequences for them as well.
Yes, I would argue the whole way that it's this moment that we all have when we see all these people acting the political theater, and you say, what game are we playing? Because we know what's happening. And there's a lot of law around that, where it's like, we know what's happening. We know you didn't say the exact words, go mess people up and stab them. But we are establishing that you are intentionally rejecting the results of the election to do something that is different than anything we've seen before. You are trying to end democracy in America. That is the only thing that they are doing, and it is more explicit than it ever has been. And they've set the groundwork for years and years and years on that side of the aisle, whatever the name of the party has been, to disenfranchise people.
Yeah.
And they've done it with like off-season trades, essentially, off-season rule changes. But now they're trying to do it after the buzzer sounds and it's over.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to do. And so they should have been disqualified from the get-go. And now they're either, I mean, if the Trump defense team was more competent, I would call this jury tampering. But it's actually defense team tampering because they're so incompetent that now Lee, Cruz, and Graham need to go up there and say, no, you idiots, you're making it so difficult for us to help you. Yeah. That here's what you need to do.
But and it's just another level than they already had. Like, they were already going on cable news to tell the defense team what they should do. Like, that's what Graham has been doing. He's been going on Hannity and saying, here's what I want to hear. Now, I guess that wasn't direct enough. So now they're just going and meeting directly with them. And again, like, I don't know what the answer is. The system has been set up with a combination of some regulations written into the Constitution and some norms. And one of those norms is the assumption that you're not gonna have people this corrupt, this partisan, immune to any reason, and buttressed by a base that desires those things. The expectation baked into the Constitution appears to be that if you get these, like wannabe dictators, if you get these incredibly corrupt leaders, the people will turn against that. But that's a dumb assumption. If they think, well, this guy's awful and wants to end democracy and all of that, but he wants to do it and he's saying it's for me, a lot of people, it turns out, will find that to be very appealing.
Yeah, yes.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.